I also believe in picking the battles that can be won. And so a lot of times I have to step back and say, that seemed like some racist shit, but you know what? Maybe it would. I can't really trip on that. But, I look at instances that happen, particularly with the police or, the Airbnb situations, the Starbucks situations and things like that. Things that, are very clearly rooted in race. And I say, okay, these are the things that I'm kind of going to get on my bully pulpit about. So, I think I think it's something that goes through the minds of a lot of black folks, a lot of folks in this country altogether. Are we overreacting to a lot of the stuff that we're seeing? Is it just so much stuff happening at one time that we're now conditioned to just say, that's racist, that's racist. And I'll even say it is, there is a difference between, prejudice and racism, and, I look at racism as you have a hatred for anybody who has non-white skin versus prejudice, which are oftentimes formed on stereotypes that are based off of ignorance. You may not necessarily hate black people, but you have certain assumptions about them that make you act stupidly or think stupidly about black folks, and it affects your way of thinking and speaking to them. And, a lot of times people say, well, there's not really a difference between the two. And so those are a lot of those conversations that we all kind of have to deal with, and those are things that are kind of going through our head because, at what point do we say, it's too much, or what do we say, we're going to save our energy and our outrage for real stuff, and I'm saying that quote unquote versus a lot of the one-offs that we do see. So it's kind of a back and forth. I don't know how you feel about that, man, but I mean, just for me, it's kind of like, damn, if I wanted to, I really could find, racism in everything.
Yeah. And you're definitely right. It's definitely one of those situations where, people have the tendency to say, this is a racist situation or this person is being racist. And I think that as a society and as a culture, there have been so many things we've been jaded by that it's hard to sometimes differentiate the two. And now also kind of going back to a point you made, one of the silliest things I've heard is if you're black or a minority, you cannot be racist. That's not true.
Yeah.
I know people who personally say, oh, let me see what I can do to go piss these white folks off today. Or, I'm voting for them because they, they're black. Now, I'm doing this just because they're black. I don't know their last name, but they black, So, we can't just point the finger at different other races or cultures because we do have to take a look.
Hell yeah, brother. I told you.
Yep.
I knew it. He admitted it.
See, he about to have me out here and shit. Goddamn nooses and shit hanging from our car and all that good stuff. But I think that's one thing that we do too is sometimes we get so afraid to, take a look at our own selves that it blinds us from everything else. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit, it's a lot of the shit going on, 96.7% of the time is racist.
Yeah.
But there's also the situation where we got a saying here in the South, and I'm sure y'all heard too, where, people sell wolf tickets. There was a situation of a senator, and I can't remember the state right now, but he called racism and said he was pulled over by the cops who racially profiled him.
Tim Scott of South Carolina.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But shit, when they played the body cam, it showed something totally different. You know what I'm saying? So the officer was doing his job. He was polite to him, and I guess the perpetrator, you said it was Tim Scott, didn't know that, he was being filmed or the body cam was on. But shit, it's shit like that sets us back. We can holler and cry racism and things like that and have a lot of adequate proof behind it. But small situations like this is going to say, well, shit, look, if he making this complaint, how many other complaints are legit? So it makes our battle harder to fight.
It does. And ain't that a motherfucker, though? The camera always works when the police are doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's true.
We're wrong on something. The cameras always work.
It is.
We're getting our ass kicked, man. The footage is grainy. It's like
ran out of tape that day.
Loch Ness monster clarity, man. Can't see shit, can't hear shit. Man, we'll have to get back to you. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah. It was one of those times. And like I said, that's why we just got to, pick and choose our causes and make sure that, we are seeing things from that point of view. Kind of along with that, there was another video, and I send our praises to him, in Memphis, Tennessee, of the realtor who was just doing his job. He was in there to, assess a house, take pictures and things like that. And one of the neighbors who was white, she was, screaming all kind of nasty things to him. And she called the cops because he didn't look like he belonged there. And so he's like, shit, you ain't about to get me. So he put his camera phone on and recorded the whole situation. Yeah. And when the Memphis Police Department arrived, he explained on camera what was going on. They saw the lady acting belligerent and, screaming all these different things like that. And, they handled the situation accordingly. He was very articulate. He was very well spoken, and he was able to convey his message without, having the spotlight put negatively on him. But again, we're at a disadvantage because we're not all with that mindset or mentality.
Exactly.
Some people of our race and of our society, when they're approached, instead of thinking tactfully and, trying to articulate what's going on, we react to the extreme in some cases.
We do. And, and just kind of a side note, the way that the Memphis Police Department handled that situation should be the template for every police department across the country because they didn't overreact. They didn't just immediately come with their guns drawn. They didn't come looking to escalate the situation. They listened. They assessed the situation. They listened to both sides. And then they handled that in a professional manner. And, and it's funny, too, because, people always, and I'll say this, too, Memphis gets a bad rap on stuff, but the way that their police department interacts with their citizens typically is much better than it is in many places across the country. And just to that white woman who actually called it in, I'm like, how can you be racist in Memphis? Memphis is like 81% black. How the hell are you pulling that one off? Did that scare you? Look, unless you in Bartlett, black folks are everywhere in Memphis.
It is.
Man, I'm just saying, look, I can't even say Bartlett anymore because, you know what? Black folks are in every part of Memphis.
Well, but this is kind of to, I won't say argue, but just to open your eyes to this, we're in a society in a day of age where white people ain't scared of us no more. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that in jest, but at the same time, I'm saying that, in most cases that's happened, in the last decade or even more, we see the courts tend to side on that side. And so with her knowing that or having that opinion, she's like, shit, my odds are good. Unfortunately, it didn't play out for her in this instance, but as a whole, white people, they don't have that mentality to be afraid of us anymore.
I'll even say this. I don't think white folks were ever really afraid of us, but I think what they are seeing now is they are seeing, a system where, if they, for whatever reason, they can use the system against us if they're so inclined. They see all of these, kind of like what we talked about in the last show. They can see, hey, I can call the police and say that such and such is doing wrong, and the police will automatically come out. And honestly, besides the Memphis Police Department, most police officers are going to come in and they're automatically going to think, okay, this is probably going to be an escalated situation. They're automatically going to think, that something negative or something terrible is going on. Whether it was the situation at Starbucks or, even with the ladies with the Airbnb. You getting the police called on you because you don't wave to somebody that you don't know?
Yeah.
It's stupid. But they're not using common sense. And, the crazy thing is there's going to come a point where police departments they're going to get tired of crying wolf behind it,
Yeah.
And we can say a lot about the police, but one thing that they hate is having their time wasted. And if we start getting proliferation of calls to the point where it just seems like they're going after anybody at that point, you're going to see slower response times. And what I hope will happen one day is we'll actually see punitive action taken against people who file bogus complaints, like so many of these folks are doing, like the woman in Oakland or the Airbnb situation. I want to see more of that because, again, and like I said on the previous show, whenever there is a financial penalty behind stuff, people tend to straighten up. they don't do this because they're suddenly enlightened. They know that if they do this again, they'll be punished and it's going to come out of their pocket. And I think that is how you end up changing the behavior, and that's how you end up changing the culture. But I don't know. I'm just one guy on it, but that's honestly how I feel about it. It's not going to change until we hit Becky's pockets because she got scared because somebody was minding their own fucking business, but yet, for whatever reason, she felt threatened or whatever it may be. I mean, there's a lot of crime going on. There's a lot of real stuff that's going on. Yeah. Don't waste people's time like that. Don't put people's lives in danger. Don't waste the time. Look, you're a taxpayer. Don't waste your tax dollars chasing around people who aren't doing anything to you. If your life isn't in any immediate danger, leave people the fuck alone. Go on about your business. Now, if he runs across the street and tries to snatch your damn purse, call the police, because then that's justified. But if he's just sitting up there, he's gardening, or he's sitting on his porch, he's breathing, eating a donut, man, clipping his toenails, man. It doesn't matter. Leave them the fuck alone.
And you know what? You brought up a lot of good, interesting points of, being a threat awake and alert. Mm-hmm. But we're a threat when we're asleep as well. As you recall, the young Ivy League at Yale. Young lady, she been studying all damn day. She wanted to post up and take a nap. Chill. Mm-hmm. She paid tuition just like everybody else. But with her sleeping, not being a threat to anybody, the campus police was called on her. So it's funny how we can be a threat awake just as we are asleep.
Yeah. The only time that we're not a threat is when we are
dead or in jail.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. I'm thinking about that too. I didn't fall asleep on campus that much just because I didn't sleep much in general. Folks who know me, man, I stayed up pretty much about 20 hours a day. I was all over the place, worked about 8 jobs, all over the damn campus.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of times where I fell asleep in the public area, and I was just like, wow, what if that had happened to me?
Yeah. It's fucked up. You can't go to school and mind your own business and take a nap on a bench and, get your shit together. Now, me, when I was in school I didn't nap. I can't. I have sleep issues anyway, so I ain't gonna sleep in no public facility. But if I'm in the library studying or doing my thing, I just happen to catch a nap here or there. It has books. It's apparent that I'm a student there. Yeah. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The young lady at Yale, Ivy League, one of the Ivy Leagues, the colleges we put on the forefront. Which I'm glad to see on Yale's part, African Americans and minorities, they are now getting more opportunity for scholarships and getting that financial burden lifted from their shoulders so that they can attend these schools. But shit, once you get in there, it's shit like that seems to be the case that they still have to deal with.
There's a lot of racism in academia anyway, even on college campuses. It's funny, Now, I was a geology major. So right out of the gate, man, how many brothers have you seen in geology besides the basic 100 class?
Shit, you the only one I know and I'm looking at. I didn't even know you was a damn geology major, so this new to me too.
Yeah, so I remember that time when I had to go in to the lab after hours and we're doing stuff. So there was a class that's called mineralogy. It's a 301 class, junior class. And basically, it's the study of the chemical composition of rocks is what it is, which is what a lot of geology is any damn way. But anyway.
You sound like a Marvel fucking supervillain right now.
I am not a none of that. I'm just a fat nigga trying to get paid. Oh, my God. But, it was funny because a professor who was in a different part of the College of Arts and Sciences happened to be in that building as well. And he was just saying, hey, just want to let you know, this is one of the geology labs, and I don't think there's anything for you in here. And I said, well, if you've been minding your own fucking business, you know that I was actually in this class. Wow. And, I was a little smart mouth motherfucker back then. So I didn't really care.
Change with that.
Yeah, but he actually reported me to the dean.
For what?
For being disrespectful, which, I mean, you heard my comment. I was. But, still, though.
Yeah, I think in trouble for that in college?
Apparently so.
Shit, I ain't know that.
Apparently so. Because I wasn't where I was supposed to be because apparently I was a threat just being around a box of rocks. Ain't that a
and
bitch?
not the shit that they cooking on the